Hello and welcome to another one of Connor's tool reviews. And today we have something um, it's kind of unusual, kind of special, something that you don't see too often. And it's the Higonokami folding knife, which is a Japanese folding knife and is kind of really part of Japanese history. It was first made in 1894, and they've been going ever since. And it's a very simple, very straightforward folding knife. It's basically you got a blade, you got a handle, and you got a hinge, and the hinge is a rivet, and the handle is essentially brass, just simply folded. Um, the steel is a very nice steel. Actually, I think it's a blue paper steel, and it takes an edge really well. As you can see, you can tell by the blade if you can see that in the shop, but I have heavily used this knife in work to sharpen pencils, to open deliveries. I've even used it at barbecues to cut meat, to prepare vegetables. It's an all-purpose knife. It's so simple in design, so straightforward. I even etched my initials into it with a diamond sharpener, with a diamond rod. Not quite as nice as what we see on the front, but still, it makes it mine. And this is my knife. There are many like it, but this one is mine. If you remember the movie. But no, really nice knife. Very simple. It's essentially a kind of a pressure closer, I think they call them. The only thing that really stops it from opening is friction. Or sorry, a friction closer. Friction lock, basically. Which is held by a rivet. I think when I first got my knife was a little bit loose, actually. But the real beauty about a friction closer is it can be tapped out with a hammer on a piece of steel, or maybe against even a wall. I would recommend probably a piece of steel to stop it from scratching, but yeah, you can increase the friction, and I can make this much harder to open and close if I want. But for me, this is perfect. The knife is not very heavy. It's about 1.4 ounces. Rivet construction in the hinge. The housing is a simple, very simple brass housing. Simply just simply fold it. Simply fold it, and then the blade put in, drilled, riveted. The handle is, as you can see, it's handmade. Like, this is not something that was created in a machine. A craftsman in Japan basically hammered that. Now it's left rough, and and if you want, you can clean it up yourself, or else you can leave it the way it is. And for my purposes, being a tradesman, I'm not really going to be like, I'm not. It doesn't need to be pretty. It just needs to work. And for me, this knife works very well. I believe, in my opinion, well, it's a one-handed opener for me. I can open that quite easily one-handed, and with me, that digit kind of falls around there right into that jimping, and for me that gives me that gives me a really firm grip of a knife, and I can sharpen pencils, I can cut, I can do whatever I need to do with that. Um, this is yeah, it's a kind of a it's a nice blade actually. It's a beveled blade. So basically, there's a there's a hard steel in the middle, followed by softer steel on the outside, which means that the edge is quite sharp and holds a good edge. But when the knife is put under pressure, either vertically or horizontally, there will be a bit of flex, and that will hopefully increase the longevity of the blade and keep you cutting for a long time to come. It's a number 2 steel in the blade, and it's just the simplicity of this blade. It's a lot of people have said to me, "Oh, it's rusting, it's this and that," but for me, it's a patina, and it's kind of it's my knife, it's my blade, and I know it by the stains and by the shape and by these different things. But if you want to keep it all shiny and new and beautiful, um, it's advised to use a kind of a non-petroleum based oil of some kind, maybe Camilla, or there's a few different types and brands out there, but just once it's not petroleum based. Yeah, so it's kind of it really is a piece of history though. You kind of you feel like you're holding something that's possibly a lot older and has some sort of kind of mystique and maybe majesty about it. But yeah, all in all, it's a very good knife. It's very simple. It works. Now, it's not an expensive knife, so you can't expect a lot from this. Unusually, I actually purchased this from a local garden centre where I live, simply because the owner has an interest in Japanese tools, history, and way of life. And when it comes to pruning your Japanese plants, like your bonsais, he has the small scissors, the shears, but he also imports, sushi knives, and he had the Higonokami knife there as well. So I actually received this as a present from a friend. Must be 2 years ago. Must be a couple of years ago at Christmas. And it was one of the best presents that I ever got, because the person that bought it for me, they knew me well and knew what I was into. And when I received this, I had much more expensive gifts that Christmas, but for me, this was this was really the highlight. This is what I had in my hand for most of the day. But but yeah, like all in all, it's a great knife, and for the price point, I think it must have been maybe 25 pounds, and that's including the retail price and the import and all the rest of it. But I believe that Higonogami, the real ones, are made by one guy, or maybe one factory or something in Japan. So yeah, it's a kind of a cool thing, and as I say, it's a piece of Japanese history, and it's just it's a pleasure to have one of these in your pocket, really, because it's something that you can use anywhere. But basically, opening boxes, sharpening pencils, the odd little bit of maybe cutting food at a barbecue or something. But the uses go on. A knife's use is, how many uses does a knife have? Just got to be millions of different applications. But I have to say, when I got this, it was razor sharp out of the edge. It could literally um it could literally cut. You could literally shave with it. My my knife sharpening skills are, they're not great, but I can get a really good edge on this with just a diamond rod and maybe a light strap of a leather belt, and you're in business. The paper test, no problem, straight through it. Um, so yeah, just a really nice knife. The blade is unusual because it has this kind of, I don't know, it's almost like a bowing kind of a bowing design and a bow in the blade, and then it comes to a really nice sharp point. So there's a lot of applications. Like, I mean, it could be used as an awl. I've definitely drilled holes with this knife in timber. I'm not sure if it's supposed to do that, but it can do it. Um, Safety wise, I've heard mixed opinions about it, but for me, when I'm holding it, as I say, I use that finger. I hold it in my hand, and then my thumb goes onto um essentially that lever opener. That's essentially, it's a lever that opens the knife, and once your thumb is on that, you're good to go. Like rarely, you know, if your thumb is taken off that, yes, the blade can come back, but you're never gonna really use a knife like that. I always use it. It should be used in that fashion, and then you're gonna be using it in a safe way. But yeah, I definitely highly recommend this knife. The price point, as I say, is very low, and you're getting something that's, you know, it's not like, it's not supposed to be extremely high end. It's just an everyday usable knife, and it does exactly that. So I would highly, highly recommend this knife. Beautiful little knife and a piece of Japanese history. Um, this is Connor's two reviews, and yeah, we're recommending it, and we'll see you for the next one. Thanks.